Some Barnstable residents are pushing for a ban of plastic bags. A new restaurant is coming to Hyannis, and find out what changes have been made to a new law that requires drivers to use headlights when it's raining. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, April 28th, 2015. I'm Sarah Mannel. Could Barnstable be the next town to ban single-use plastic bags? Falmouth and Provincetown have both enacted a ban on plastic bags. Now a group of Barnstable residents are hoping to push through a similar ban. Sheila Place, a West Barnstable resident, asked that the Renewable Energy Commission send Town Council a letter supporting the ban.
Steve and I are part of a group that got started a little over a year ago, and that's kind of going down a little bit in this write-up. And it was folks from Brewster, Falmouth, and Barnstable. We had a showing of Bag It, which is a great movie about all plastics, in March of 2014. We just about filled the Cape Cinema. And then we got bags from Stop and Shop, and lots of bags from Stop and Shop, a few from Market Basket, reusable bags that we distributed. Some of our group dressed up in silly costumes made out of plastic. So we had some fun with it too. We distributed educational literature. I think it became pretty apparent in terms of follow-up visits to the store that we needed to do more. So Don Mallinson, part of our group, worked single-handedly to get the ban through in Falmouth. And then it seemed to make a good idea to try to get Barnstable on board, since we're the biggest town on the Cape. And we should be nice to lead and not follow. So, I think I don't have to educate you folks about plastic bags, but some of the reasons we want to do this is they're ingested by marine wildlife, mistaking them for food, litter everywhere. The bags are a contributor to the great garbage patches that are showing up in our oceans. And what a lot of people don't know is that they're increasingly undesirable for recycling because they cause breakdowns in the equipment. And something I read just about a week or 10 days ago is that Phoenix, Arizona spends $1 million a year to repair recycling equipment that's damaged by plastic bags, which I thought was astounding. So, the figures sort of roam around a little bit, but it looks like between 3% and 6% actually get recycled. They're made from oil or gas, a non-renewable source, and the average U.S. family uses $1,500 a year, and trillions are used.
$5 a day? More? That's crazy.
So what's proposed is a ban that's modeled on the successful Falmouth ban, which is single-use plastic bags with integral handles, 2.5 milliliters or less mils. It would include any business selling goods, articles, food, or personal services. Customers would be encouraged to bring their own reusable bags, and establishments may provide reusable bags at no charge or charge a reasonable fee for each paper bag. And we're suggesting that single-use bags be phased out within 12 months. Falmouth went with 18, and I was advised by the gentleman who put the ban through that it was too long, and he suggested 12 months.
Place says she expects the plan to be presented to Town Council before the end of this year. A new restaurant will soon open in Hyannis. The Nor'easter will soon occupy the former Paddock restaurant at the West End Rotary. During Monday's licensing authority hearing, owner Gary Roy described his plans for the new restaurant.
He's been the former head bartender. We're using all local products. We're using the best that the Cape has to offer, the freshest fish, working with local fishermen, local small farms, just trying to have the best food that we can. Trying to have local breweries, Toro Winery, and we put a lot of pride in the food.
Have you seen the menu because I believed we attached the menu.
From 2 weeks ago, I saw the initial menu.
Right.
I
Which had
haven't,
over
I haven't
30
seen an update.
No, that had over 30 entrees, from bass to lobster to prime rib to pot roast.
And the board voted to approve the new license for the Nor'easter. The restaurant is expected to open this spring. To find out more about changes to a new law requiring drivers to turn on headlights when it's raining and other police-related issues, Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin talked with Barnstable Police Deputy Chief Craig Tamish. We share a portion of that interview with you now.
Last week, Craig, and we talked a little bit about that new law that requires people to turn on their headlights and taillights when the windshield wipers are needed. And I understand since we've had that conversation, something has changed about that law in terms of the insurance surcharge. Talk to me a little bit about that.
It has. As you recall, last week when we talked about it, I felt, as a lot of other officers felt, that the violation was one thing, but to have an insurance surcharge for a violation as simple as failure to turn your headlights on when your windshield wipers were on was somewhat excessive. And I think the word certainly got back to our state representatives, and they have just changed that law to eliminate the surcharge on that violation, which I think will make officers perhaps more amenable to writing citations for that if the need arises. But sometimes if the punishment does not fit the crime, then officers perhaps tend not to write the violation because of the excessive nature of the fine or the punishment.
Indeed, and I can think perhaps of a larger offense, like if your car is perhaps not properly registered, or if your inspection sticker has expired and you may have some safety things you need to take care of, that, and obviously accidents and things of that nature that do cause that insurance surcharge. But I can see how many would think that it's a little excessive at this stage in the game to put that surcharge in place for the headlight violations.
Absolutely.
Indeed. And has anyone gotten pulled over here in town that you know of for violating that?
I am not aware of that. I'm not aware of anyone issuing any citations for that.
Great. Well, I've been trying to be good about turning on my headlights, Craig. So let's talk a little bit about the breathalyzer. I understand there's been some talk a little bit about it in the news, some confusion about the breathalyzer test. Obviously an important test when you are dealing with an intoxicated or a suspicion of an intoxicated driver.
Absolutely. There seems to be some confusion out there right now. A week or so ago, the district attorney, Michael O'Keefe, came out and notified his people that they were no longer going to be seeking to introduce the breathalyzer as evidence in a operating under the influence trial. This is a result of a review that's being conducted, and this is a temporary hold. This is as a result of a review that is being conducted by the state on the calibration of a number of breathalyzers. One of the figures that I saw was that this only affected about 69 out of 6,000 breathalyzers that were given in the last year or so. So it's a small sample, but obviously if you're one of those 69 people, it could have a major impact on you and your life if you were improperly convicted of operating under the influence. So there is a temporary hold on the introduction of breathalyzer evidence in a trial until this review is completed. But one of the things that I just wanted to make clear was that the breathalyzer is still being offered. If someone is arrested for operating under the influence, they are requested to take a breathalyzer, and if they refuse to take that breathalyzer, their license may be suspended. And for under this Melanie's law that was passed probably 6 or 7 years ago, I mean, the penalty for refusing the breathalyzer is quite substantial. For an adult, it is 6 months, 180 days.
And you can always get the latest police info during our weekly interview with the chief each Tuesday morning on Barnstable This Morning. The hour-long news program airs weekdays at 7 a.m. On tomorrow's show, we will learn all about Spring on Main Street in Hyannis. That's happening this weekend. We'll chat with Finance Director Mark Milne, plus we'll have all the news and information you need. For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mantle.